Tonight, the Rays homestand continues here at Tropicana Field with the Boston Red Sox in. The Rays and the Red Sox battled late into the night and early morning in the opening game of this series, and the Red Sox prevailed in 14 innings, and so the Rays are 5 games back. That's their largest deficit since the 27th of May. Boston leading the AL East by 2 over New York, 3.5 in front of Baltimore. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Rays Baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Good to have you aboard. Todd Callis along in just a moment. Well, the Rays did everything except win last night, and individually, Ben Zobrist continues his hot hitting with 5 hits. Since he's moved to that 1 or 2 spot, he's been red hot, and against the left-hander John Lester tonight, he'll be hitting third.
Well, Ben Zobrist, we are in the second week of June, and in 1 week's time, 7 games, he has raised his average almost 30 points. The way that you do that is you are on a torrid pace. You see the average, 13 out of 27 during this span. He continues to take his walks, his on-base percentage approaching .550. And how about this? He's been clutch, too, a .600 batting average with runners in scoring position. You know how he's done this, Dwayne? He's done it by moving the ball all over the field. He has been so impressive up the middle, taking the ball to right, taking the ball to left. He will look to continue that approach against the very tough John Lester. Now, this is a guy, you go back 2011, 2012, he lost 4 straight decisions to the Rays and was not pretty in doing it. Well, he has turned that around here in 2013. A 1-0 record. He's gone 7 innings in both starts against the Rays, giving up just 3 earned runs during that stretch. He changed his arm angle this offseason. John Farrell and pitching coach Juan Nieves got it up just a little bit higher. It's creating a better downhill angle to the plate, and you see that in his results.
And his career numbers against the Rays, an ERA of a little over 4, 11 wins and 8 losses, spanning 24 starts. He can be a very tough left-hander. Well, last night, if you play 5 hours and 24 minutes, I guess you have a chance to get a little bit of everything. And the Rays and the Red Sox did. That bench clearing brouhaha after Matt Joyce was hit by John Lackey. Todd Callis examines that.
from their dugout as we're just minutes away from baseball tonight between the Red Sox and the Rays. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Boston leading Tampa Bay by 5 in the AL East. They are 6-1 against Tampa Bay so far this season. Last night, an interesting night for Matt Joyce, to say the least. The Armwood High School product in the first inning with the Rays tripling 6-0 already. Hits a home run, leadoff home run. Joyce has a tendency to do that in the leadoff spot. And that was 6-1. Then the Rays were coming back. Second inning, 2-on, 3-0 count. Down 6-2. Matt Joyce trying to make it a one-run game. Just hooked the 3-0 pitch, dropped the bat. And apparently John Lackey and maybe Jared Saltalamacchia took a little offense to that, because the next time after he grounds out, John Lackey kind of motioning over to the dugout as some of the guys got on him about yelling at Matt Joyce down the line. Then the next time Matt Joyce would bat 6th inning, you know what's coming here. Saltalamacchia sets up inside, pitch hits him between the 2 and the 0. Matt has a few words, Lackey has a few words, and the benches come on and meet right down the first baseline. So afterwards, we caught up with Joe Madden and Matt Joyce and asked them their thoughts about what went down in that 6th inning.
He intentionally hit him when he did. There's no question in my mind that he did. And the sad part is I've always considered Lackey a good teammate. But right there, he can get one of his own players hurt. So I really did sense among the group of Red Sox that they were totally not into that moment, because they knew it was inappropriate to hit Matt on purpose, and furthermore, because one of them can get hurt.
Honestly, I felt like it was a pretty Bush League move. I think it was very obvious. And, you know, I mean, I'd really rather not get too much into it, but obviously I wasn't too happy about it.
And he told somebody in the dugout he thought that might happen. So the Rays and the Red Sox getting ready in 2 minutes and 40 seconds for the first pitch of the evening. We are ready for baseball. It'll be John Lester on the mound for Boston, Roberto Hernandez on the mound for the Rays. Enjoy it coming up next on Sunsport.
Had some fireworks over the years, beginning with Gerald Williams charging Pedro Martinez in 2000. In 2008, James Shields squared off with Coco Crisp. Last season, it was Franklin Morales throwing at Luke Scott. And then last night, John Lackey lit up Matt Joyce, and the bench is cleared once again. Tonight, the rivalry continues. And so here we are in the aftermath of last night. The Rays and the Red Sox squaring off again. We're set to play ball. Roberto Hernandez delivers the first pitch of this game to Jacoby Ellsbury. The first pitch presented by Pinch-A-Penny. The count 1 ball, no strikes. So we're underway here with the middle game of this series. And a base hit stroked into left. 1 hop to Sean Rodriguez. And Jacoby Ellsbury is aboard. We'll take a look at the rest of this lineup for the Red Sox, presented by Sweet Bay Supermarkets. Shane Victorino again hits second, and then Dustin Pedroia. Ortiz, Napoli, and Nava down the middle. Drew, Ross, and Jose Iglesias is the third baseman batting ninth. So 2 pitches in, the Red Sox already have a base runner in Ellsbury. Victorino's hitting .283, and the first pitch to him is wide.
Now, it's going to be very important tonight for Roberto Hernandez to establish that sinker in good areas of the strike zone, because Boston knows that that's what he wants to do. They're going to be looking for it, searching it out.
And that's really his bread and butter pitch. It needs to be for him to throw the appropriate number of ground balls.
His numbers making his 12th start of the season, brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. And we've seen when he's able to command the sinker, keep it down in the zone, and get ahead early. That's the key, because then he can expand the strike zone.
Runner takes off. There's no throw. The pitch is a strike. And Ellsbury picks up his 27th steal in 29 attempts.
Well, you've got to stop the guy over at first base. And look at Ellsbury. Roberto comes set. He's still moving. That cannot happen. You've got to be able to stop him. He's got to be leaving. If he's going to steal, make him steal from being flat-footed, or at least in a base stealer stance. You get a walking lead at first base, it's just too easy.
Victorino lines it into right. 1 hop to Zobrist. Ellsbury stops at third. And it's first and third, nobody out.
Well, let's take a quick look at the Rays defense as it lines up tonight behind Roberto Hernandez in the outfield left to right. Rodriguez, Jennings, and Zobrist across the infield third to first. Longoria, Escobar, Roberts, and Loney. Jose Molina will be behind the plate. You know, and that's one of those areas, too. You go back to the stolen base of Jacoby Ellsbury, getting into scoring position right away. The Rays have been awful at holding runners this year. At holding runners, allowing stolen bases. Well, both of these teams really have not been very good.
That's right. And what it does is turns a walk into a double, a base hit into a 2-base hit.
It's tough to pitch.
Dustin Pedroia takes a strike. 14-game hitting streak for Pedroia, hitting .331 for the year. There goes Victorino, and pitch is foul, out of play.
And did you see right there, Victorino on the move and Pedroia trying to stay inside that baseball and push it out into right field. Boston, a very aggressive team. They are starting that way tonight. Off he goes. Watch him stay inside this ball. Look at that. Intentionally trying to shoot that ball the other way.
Well, they know, number one, right away they can take liberties with Hernandez, and they waste a little time in doing it. Now 1-2.
This is also a division game, and you've got a pretty good rivalry brewing here between these two teams, and you want to be the team that sets the tone. Set it early. We're aggressive. We're going to be in your face all game long. That's what Boston did last night. Now, to the Rays' credit, they came all the way back and pushed them to 14 innings. But Boston jumping out early here tonight once again.
Runner goes. The pitch skied to right. Toward the line. Zobrist into foul territory. Makes the catch, turns, and a quick throw back to the plate. It's not going to be in time. Ellsbury scores. Victorino remains at first. as the Red Sox score the first run. That turned out to be quite a play by Zobrist in foul territory.
Well, you've got the low wall as it circles around out there towards the right field line. Ben has got to follow this ball and then navigate the low wall. That is not easy to do, but then the presence of mind to turn the quick throw, and with Ellsbury running, I didn't even think it'd be that close.
With a runner at first. The hitter is David Ortiz. One ball, no strikes.
Well, did you see that fastball right there, down and away? Jose Molina was sitting nowhere near the plate. Almost like a borderline pitch out is Victorino going.
Well, it's aggressive as these runners have been already.
Yeah.
You're going to have to start thinking about something. That's a strike, 1-1.
Well, that's where, as a right-handed pitcher, if you don't have a good pickoff move as far as quick feet, like you see with James Shields all the years here, he was so good with the quick feet and throwing right from the ear and accurate with that. And that's why he was able to pick some guys off. But if you don't have that kind of a move, then you've got to vary your times. First of all, you got to make sure everybody's stopped over there, and then you hold the ball.
Runner goes, pitch foul back.
You see right there in a rhythm. Roberto Hernandez, come set, pause, and go. Come set, pause, and go. These base stealers will pick up on that. They will time him up, and they will all get great jumps. So he's got to come set and then go to the plate. Come set and then go.
Yep.
He comes quick, comes set right there, boom, and on his way to the plate. Look at the jump.
Yeah, he's easy to time up, and if you vary that, if you hold the ball, that's one of the ways to combat it.
And that gives the catcher, whoever that may be tonight, Jose Molina, no chance.
Pretty close right there. 2-2.
And so you don't have to have a great move, but you've got to vary your times and your looks. You just cannot allow them. You just can't make it easy for them.
Yeah, right now, 49 steals. The Red Sox and the Orioles topping the league in steals.
Would you have guessed that?
Runner goes. Pitch is down, and the throw is not in time. And the Red Sox are just going to continue to do that.
Well, that's right, because right now the times of holding the ball after coming set by Roberto Hernandez have not deviated. It's come set and go, come set and go. And this isn't easy.
Well, when we first saw the Red Sox this year, coming out of spring training, people wondering about this club. How good could they be? When we first saw them, and with Ellsbury, Victorino, and Pedroia healthy, the top of their order will be an issue. Ortiz out on strikes. A big cut right there. 2 gone.
Big strikeout there from Roberto Hernandez. Little backdoor slider. This acts more like a cutter. Very subtle movement, and just gets over the swing of David Ortiz.
Two outs with Victorino at second. Here's Mike Napoli. Pitch in to Napoli. Napoli hitting .263 for the year, and that's his career average against Hernandez. Roberto throws him a strike. 1-1 now. Two balls and a strike to Napoli.
That's the cat and mouse game that goes on between hitters and Roberto Hernandez. He wants that sinker down in the zone. They want to force him up in the zone, and it's who's going to be able to execute and who's going to be able to stay disciplined.
And that's why that first pitch is so important, because if it's a strike, it's a completely different experience for the hitter than if it's a ball. And now it's 3-1. speed pitch taken for ball 3. First inning, the Red Sox have a run. Foul right back. Fastball. So the count goes out to 3-2. Boston winning 7 of its last 10, 3 in a row, including last night. Foul ball. He challenged him with a fastball. We'll do it again. 3-2.
The one thing that Roberto Hernandez can do when he gets ahead of these hitters, obviously this not being the case, but when he gets ahead of these righties, he can run that sinker down and in. Right, almost got it right there. Try to get him to swing over the top of it, or really tie him up and get weak ground balls to the left side. He can also front door that sinker to the left-handed hitters and try to freeze him, catch him looking.
3-2, and it's chopped to the left side. Longoria's throw to first in time. That'll retire the side. They limit the damage to 1 run. Bottom of the first coming. Rays coming in to hit. In tonight's game, we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Tonight, every home run in this game raises $10,000. You can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. Lineups presented by Sweet Bay Supermarket. Desmond Jennings back leading off. Sean Rodriguez and Vince Zobrist hitting third. Longoria, Escobar, and Lodi down the middle. Ryan Roberts gets a start. Molina catches. Matt Joyce, the DH, down in the 9th spot. He goes from leading off to hitting 9th.
And he hit a home run. Hit a home run out of that leadoff spot.
First pitch from Lackey. It's a strike from Lester. That home run off Lackey, and then a couple of at-bats later, we had all of the fireworks when Joyce was hit by that pitch. Now Jennings up in the leadoff spot.
Those numbers right here on John Lester, brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. Solid season all around, 6-2, an ERA of 3.60. But how about this? He defeated the Rays on May 15th. At that point, that brought his record to 6-0 with a 2.72. A few bumps in the road since then. Last 4 starts, he's 0-2 with a 5.68. So the Rays may be catching him at the right time.
A little chopper right side. Pedroia with a flip to first, not in time. Oh, there's a little indecision there on that little hopper, and an infield hit for Jennings.
And Jennings might as well push bunt that ball to the right side, because that's how it was handled by the Boston defense. Napoli, once he peels off, it becomes Pedroia, and you see him try to get something on that underhand, but he realizes you're not going to underhand it and beat Jennings to the bag in that kind of a play.
Yeah, we've seen Pedroia make some impossible plays. You know, last night's game was just in many ways a classic, in other ways not so classic, but a couple of plays he made last night, Pedroia, I mean, they had guys get big hits, but he's the reason they won last night.
No doubt. I mean, some stellar defensive plays. Saved a run on what would have been a blue hit to the mount of Tazawa. And he comes running in, slide, makes a great catch. And then the bunt by Sam Fuld, which would have ended the game. He got such a head start on that. Read that right as Sam started to go. Charged in. Was able to make a very difficult play. But you're right. He saved their skin twice out in the field.
Sean Rodriguez getting a start here as the Rays, for the first time in 2 weeks, facing a left-handed starting pitcher, which means Rodriguez will get a chance to get some at-bats in the lineup, and Ryan Roberts starting tonight.
Yeah, opportunities have been few and far between for Sean Rodriguez.
Nice take there, 2 balls and a strike. Sean hitting .246 overall, .265 against lefties, both his home runs off left-handed pitching. He's ahead in the count, 3-1. Jennings away from the bag. And there's ball 4. So an infield hit and now a walk. First 2 men on for the Rays. Well, here are those plays we were talking about. And I don't know how this almost turned into a hit.
I mean, really, it's an infield pop-up that was up there forever. But you see the play he had to make with that right here. Look at, he's already, what, 2-3 steps into the grass. The infield grass way deep in there. That was a nice attempt at that bunt by Sam Fuld, but a better defensive play by the guy with the beard.
Remember when he was coming up and there were people who thought, number one, he wasn't big enough to play in the big leagues, and just didn't think that he had much of a future. Really?
Well, yeah, right? MVP.
Yeah. I don't care how big any of the other guys are on this team. He's the heart of this club. Zobrist, the ground ball to Pedroia. Through 1, first base 2. Jennings goes to third.
You know what? And a couple of nice things done on that play right there. Bad for the Rays on the double play, but Sean Rodriguez hustling down to second. He got down there to disrupt this play, and a nice job by Drew to avoid him and throw that ball moving to the side. Watch Sean Rodriguez get down there quick. Not being held on, so he's able to get down there and try to break that up, and Drew, a nice job of moving laterally to get out of his way. He realizes he's in some trouble here and still able to complete the play.
So Lester throws a double play ball. It's Evan Longoria. Evan takes it outside. He starts the night hitting .305. A lot of folks thought the game was about to be over in the bottom of the 10th last night when the Rays had tied it and loaded the bases, had Evan up there, and the double play.
Count me as one of them.
Well, I tell you, everybody thought that, including Evan. And you know, that's the kind of play that the Rays have to get beyond, and you think that they probably will, given the makeup of this team. You know, that's the old 30-minute rule that the Madden implemented a long time ago about celebrating for 30 minutes or grieving a loss for 30 minutes. And there were opportunities for the Rays who mounted a great comeback last night to win it, and not to win it is tough. But they view every day as a new day. And there's ball 4 to Longoria.
You know, I don't know if I've ever thought this or have said something like this, but that last night's ball game, very rarely can you say that a team that fell behind 6-0, 6 hitters into the game or 8 hitters into the game, blew the game. And you get that feeling. Down 6-0, they had opportunities to win that game 13-7.
You know, it was amazing because you had a starting pitcher for the Red Sox who had a 6-run lead, and he was pitching as if he were trailing 6-0. You could just see that happening to him. And then the Rays had opportunities to win it after being down 6-0. And you're right, that feeling is a team that was losing came back, and you still feel like they let it get away.
And even in all of the innings that it took them to finally tie that ball game up, how many runners did they leave on base? How many times did they have the tying runner in second or third, you know, inning after inning after inning, and not able to get him in? Still finally tied it up and got into extra innings. But boy, oh boy, had a ton of opportunities to blow that game open.
Rays were 3 of 16 with men in scoring position last night.
And that's an area that they have thrived in this year.
They left 5 runners on third base, 3 on second, and 5 at first. It's Escobar. Pitch is a strike, so it's 1-1. So from that perspective, it really did have a strange feel to it. It was, and strangely, an enjoyable game, yet frustrating.
Yeah. No, I was talking to somebody about the game today, and I'm like, yeah, the Rays fell behind 6-0. The first 6 hitters of the game scored for the Red Sox, and then I found myself in the next sentence and saying, you know, and the Rays, boy, they feel like they blew that game. It's like, wait a minute, the team that was down 6-0 with nobody out in the first blew the game, but that was the strangeness of it. Maybe it was just 14 innings and I was delirious. I don't know.
It's ball 3 to Escobar.
I did sleep like a baby last night.
Don't you feel really good today?
Yeah. Because I rolled into bed and I didn't move. I woke up and pulled the covers back. The bed looks still like it was made. That's ridiculous.
So a 3-1 count here to Escobar. Jennings third, Longoria first, 2 outs. And ball 4. Lester gives up his 3rd walk in this inning.
Let's take a quick look at the Boston defense tonight. In the outfield, left to right, Nava, Ellsbury, and Victorino. Across the infield, 3rd to 1st, Iglesias, Drew, Pedroia, and Napoli. David Ross will be behind the plate.
Well, how about this? A meeting on the mound already. Juan Nieves, the pitching coach out there, with James Loney due up. Take a look at the Toyota trend here. You mentioned this a moment ago.
And when the 6th win to get to 2-7-2 came against the Rays, a very good game against them, but since then has stumbled just a little bit. And that 297 average, bad enough, but during that time frame, those last 4 starts, runners in scoring position average off him 387.
Well, here's James Loney, who's 9th in the league in hitting with men in scoring position at 359 and hitting 370 against lefties. And he takes the pitch for a ball. Boston scored a run in the first. The Rays have the bases loaded in the bottom of the first. Breaking ball for ball 2. Fastball, that's called a strike.
Yeah, it didn't have to be. borderline pitch at best.
Loney waiting on Lackey, or on Lester. And a swing and a miss. Got just a little piece of the fastball. And foul tipped it right into the mid of Ross. So it's 2-2 here.
Well, this was a hitter's pitch. The 2-0 fastball by Lester to get to 2-1. A pitcher's pitch, you don't swing at that. Not many good things will happen. That was the one that you wanted, and Loney not able to hit it square.
2-2. And Lester misses. Cut that one down and away.
Having a hard time with that pitch. That cutter really sweeping and not able to keep it anywhere near the plate against the lefties.
So it's a full count. The Rays runners will get a chance to break on the pitch. Here it is. There they go. And ball 4. This game is tied. He threw him a cutter, 3-2, and has walked home a run. Jennings crosses the plate. Loney picks up the 35th RBI of the year.
Well, how about the fact that he goes 2-0 on Loney, gets back into the count with 2 good fastballs, and then goes right back to the cutter, and you see that those balls just aren't anywhere near the plate. He even tried to make the adjustment on there, started closer to Loney, and wasn't able to keep it on the plate.
Well, here's Ryan Roberts. He's been waiting to get a start against a left-hander, and a shot right back to the mound. Lester gets the glove down and makes the flip to first to retire the side. Well, the Rays get a run. They leave him loaded. We're tied 1-1. Definition brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Boston a run in the first. The Rays right back with a run in their first. And back to the hill, Roberto Hernandez. Hernandez will face Daniel Nava, the switch hitting outfielder. He delivered the go-ahead base hit in the 4th inning, or 14th inning last night, in what turned out to be a 10-8 final. First pitch to Nava, and that's a strike. Stephen Drew next, and then David Ross. 1-1. The Rays still like Roberto Hernandez stuff out there. Command and getting ahead in the count makes all the difference.
When you look at his breakout, if he doesn't throw a strike within the first 2 pitches, meaning he goes to 2-0, what happens to him after that is, well, hide the women and children. It becomes a batting average of 440 with an on base of 600.
That's astounding.
It is. And that just, I mean, listen, it's important for every pitcher to pitch ahead. Nobody wants to fall behind. Some more important than others. And as you look at those numbers on Roberto Hernandez, those first 2 pitches, if they end up 2-0, it does not get pretty from there.
Well, it gives hitters all kinds of options.
Well, and it forces him up into the zone most of the time with that sinker. And guess what? Sinkers up in the zone don't sink.
Yep. At least know where you want them to sink, and that's right out there over the plate.
They tend to sink into the barrel.
That's exactly right. So the key, get ahead and stay ahead. Full count to Nava. And a base hit into left center field. Rodriguez cuts it off. Nava's aboard to lead off the inning.
See, what makes Roberto Hernandez effective is when he does pitch ahead, guess what? Now he can use that sinker to expand the zone. And a guy can, it's a lot easier to take a borderline pitch at, in 2-0 than it is 1-2.
Yeah.
You're not sure.
Yeah.
Now you go out there trying to protect, and that's when you start getting those little dribblers, which drives his ground ball percentage up.
Yeah, or even 0-1. That's why that first pitch strike's important.
Yeah.
Because hitters, they have a little room to work, but not as much as if it's the other way around.
Going to be a little bit more defensive the further they fall behind in the count.
The first pitch strike to Drew.
That's what we saw in that ball game with him against the Marlins, where he was so good. And by the way, it had nothing to do that it was the Marlins who were struggling at the plate. He was going to beat anybody that night. He was that good.
Ahead of Drew, 2 strikes. Yeah, you can succeed against a good hitting lineup if you can manage to stay ahead in the count. One ball, 2 strikes. Red Sox got the run on the sacrifice fly by Pedroia in the first. Rays got a bases loaded walk drawn by James Loney in their first. Ground ball. Roberts to Escobar. That's 1. First base, 2. They got them both.
Okay, go back. When you look at this replay, remember that the count is 1-2. It's 1-2, and now Stephen Drew has to protect against anything that's close. So you're ahead in the count, and he makes a good pitch down and away with good sinking action. And watch the swing by Drew. I mean, that's it. That is it in a nutshell. And here's your result.
So that erases the leadoff base hit. Here's the catcher, David Ross.
2-1. He probably takes that, and maybe it goes to 3-1. Maybe it goes to 2-2.
Yep.
But 1-2, got to go after it.
Behind Ross. Ross hitting .207. Now Hernandez finds the strike zone with a fastball, 2-1. pulls off that one, and we go to 2-2.
You see right there, David Ross, that left hip flying open down that third baseline, anticipating that ball in.
And right back in there again to strike him out. That takes care of Boston. Bottom of the inning coming. We're tied 1-1.
And not too much action on Twitter last night after that 5+ hour game. But with Matt Joyce on deck, I want to share this tweet with you guys. Always putting things in great perspective. That one, he tweeted, "Proud of our guys for never giving up. This team has so much heart. We'll get them next game." Since you two are still Twitterless, Dwayne and BA, aren't you happy I can bring you up to speed?
We are. And we really appreciate that update.
I look forward to that hit every ball game because it opens up a world that I know nothing and care nothing about.
We can just take a peek and then...
Yeah, just a glimpse.
Yeah, and then
just a glimpse.
Run away.
Like, what is out there? What are relevant people doing today? And that's what they're doing. They're tweeting.
Yeah.
You know how much trouble I would get in if I tweeted, or is that what they call it? If I,
yeah, of course, yeah. On both fronts. I got it.
Talk about not being pretty.
There wouldn't be enough meetings. Not enough time.
My inbox gets filled up pretty quick now already.
1-2 the count to Molina, and he lifts it foul up the right side. Molina, now Matt Joyce and Desmond Jennings due up for the Rays. Rays facing John Lester, had some control issues in the first. And Molina's out on strikes. Caught looking. It's the first out in the second. First strikeout for Lester. Lester and Buchholz got off to great starts and really was the big push for the Red Sox with the start they enjoyed. Now here's Matt Joyce. Matt making his second start of the year, hitting ninth. And here's that situation last night that started everything. 1-1. Of course, the Rays and the Red Sox have had a few of those through the years. 370 marker makes the catch. Well, Joyce gave it a ride, a towering fly ball. Victorino was calling for it, and Ellsbury, the center fielder, took charge.
Well, Ellsbury, the left-handed glove man, got a pretty good beat, a good angle on this, a better one than Victorino. Makes the catch, but I'll tell you what, I thought off the bat that had a real good chance of getting out of here, and actually ended up short, way shorter than I thought.
Jennings takes a pitch outside. Ball, no strikes. Has been reached on the infield hit and scored a run in the first. And again, a changeup away. 2 balls, no strikes. That's in there, 2-1. Lester 9-14 a year ago. There's a shot deep into center. Ellsbury back into the triangle. That's gone. Home run for Desmond Jennings. Rays take a 2-1 lead as Jennings turns a fastball around.
Now John Lester trying to take an advantage of Jennings early with a couple of changeup, falls behind, gets a fastball over for strike 1 and then misses with strike 2. And how about Desmond Jennings, moved down in the order by Joe Madden, does a lot of nice things down in that 6 and 7 hole, gets thrown back up to the top of the order and goes single home run.
Sean Rodriguez. Sean chasing the changeup. Strike 1. 71st home run for the Rays as a team, and number 7 for Jennings. Way wide, and it slipped away from Lester. It's 2-1. Lester made 26 pitches in the first inning, of which only 9 were strikes. And as he goes to 2-2 with Rodriguez, he still made more pitches non-strikes than strikes. Out of the 42, there's 19 strikes.
Yeah, he hasn't been much sharper in this inning. Even some of the strikes like that right there, that fastball that Sean swung at was down below the zone.
And the count goes full.
Just hope the Rays can take advantage, get opportunities before he, well, if and when he finds it.
The liner into right field, almost over Victorino's head. That ball started to take off, and Victorino had to do a little taking off himself to leap to make the catch. Rays going to run on the home run by Desmond Jennings, and they lead 2-1.
we head to the third inning with Roberto Hernandez back on the mound. We have a very special group with us out here. Part of the Tampa General Hospital Foundation. Robin Delaverne's the executive director. We have a group called Camp Hopataki.
This is the 23rd year. These are kids who are burn survivors. It's a week-long camp. We take them to all kinds of neat things, and this is always their favorite night. And the firefighters and Tampa General Foundation fund it. Doesn't cost the kids anything.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? I mean, it's Tampa Firefighters Local 754, right, along with the Tampa General Hospital Foundation. You guys provide all the funding. These kids don't
everything. Well, but then there are people like the Rays who provide the suite and the food for tonight, which makes it a whole lot easier for us to be able to do all these great things for the kids.
Tell me about how this has kind of evoked a spirit of a family amongst the group.
Well, you know, some of these kids have, if you can imagine, if you've been burned bad, you might not want to put on a bathing suit and go to Adventure Island. But when you spend summer after summer with the same kids, you really understand it is a family. You get to know each other, and they bond. They Facebook and email each other all year long, and they get to share their experiences, which makes it so much easier with them going to school and doing their regular Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and things like that.
We see a lot of the kids here. We see a lot of the counselors here as well. Tell us about who are some of the counselors? The
counselors, it's made up of there's the nurses who work in pediatrics, the burn nurses, the firefighters. We even have an employee who's worked at Tampa General for 1.5 years in information systems who's giving up her vacation to come and be a volunteer for the camp for a week because she wants to give back.
We'd love.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, and thank the Rays for providing this night for us.
Base hit through the left side of the infield. Before we send it back, guys, good story with James Loney and his wife visiting Tampa General Hospital yesterday. Promised a home run, and he delivered in that game last night. So Camp Hopataki kids all out here. Guys, wave. Everybody wave. Back to the booth.
James Loney and making that hospital visit. It's a big part of the Rays do, and it's amazing, and I say amazing, but it's so commonplace for this club to do that, and the players are so willing to do that, and it's actually what it is heartwarming.
You have a clubhouse full of great guys that will go out and are more than willing to do these, you know, appearances and go out and see the kids and go to the hospital. And I tell you what ends up happening is you go out there and you think that, you know, you're going out there to bring a smile to their face, and you end up taking way more away from it than probably they do.
Happens every time.
Every time.
Ellsbury takes a pitch down and in. Iglesias with a base hit through the left side between short and third to open the inning. And the Rays with a home run in the second inning. They've had 5 home runs in this series. They've out-homered the Red Sox 5-0. In fact, last night, losing despite out-homering Boston 4-0. Chop, that's a fair ball. Throw down to second. It's not going to be in time. Iglesias beat the throw in.
You know, James Loney has been so good with his arm and his sense of timing, and right there it was thrown off a little bit. He made his mind up right away. Look, he didn't even look at second base. He said, I'm going there. But because that ball was chopped, even if that throw's on the bag, doesn't matter. Iglesias was going to beat it. Iglesias got a great secondary and a good jump. He was not going to be able to get it, regardless. Just a poor decision by James.
So Ellsbury reaches on a fielder's choice. Iglesias is safe at second. 2 on with nobody out for Shane Victorino. Victorino had a base hit his first time. Now he puts down the bunt. Hernandez barehanded pickup and the throw to first. So he sacrifices both men into scoring position with Pedroia coming up.
All the different things that John Farrell can do at the top of this Red Sox lineup with guys like Victorino who can handle the bat, they can run, they can bunt, hit and run.
That's why you have to really like the top of their order.
Oh,
these top 3 guys, Ellsbury, Victorino, and Pedroia.
Yeah, to set the table for the guy coming behind him, and then Napoli, and then you go right down the list. But you're right, there's just so much that John Farrell can do with these top three.
Pedroia takes a big cut, fouling back that opening fastball. How about Pedroia, who drove in a run with a fly ball? And you look at his numbers throughout the career of Roberto Hernandez. He came in 1 for 12 against Hernandez. I didn't think he would be 1 for 12 against anybody.
I would have to agree with that, but you can see him with his swing tonight trying to stay inside that baseball.
And a swing and a foul ball right straight back, and it caught Chris Guccione.
Well, Molina was set up away. That ball ran back middle in. And so when it was fouled straight back, Jose Molina was not there. Right over his left shoulder. Boom.
Puts up around the collarbone.
And how about Jose? Quick turnaround.
On Porterfield on the scene. Guccione appears to be just fine. What are you doing out here? Well, that's good. That's really great to see. If your catcher had stayed in front of me, I'd be fine. Yeah, that's good. Wow, that's really good. So the count's 2 strikes. 1 out, 2 men in scoring position. And a cut and a miss. Well, they got ahead of him, went off speed with him.
Again. Pitch ahead, expand the zone. He comes with the changeup, and this is a good one. Middle of the plate down, and gets Dustin Pedroia all out of sync. What a big strikeout.
2 outs. And another dangerous bat. David Ortiz up here. Napoli giving him some protection. First pitch just missed. Off speed with Ortiz. They got Ortiz on strikes in the first inning. Time granted by Chris Guccione. 2-0. Ball game in the top of the third. To an extended pitch count in the first inning. Right on the money in the second. And now behind in the count. The Rays will go ahead and walk Ortiz. So an intentional pass to Ortiz. Napoli, a dangerous bat behind him, but Ortiz up in the count 2-0. And you go back to the numbers we discussed earlier that you brought up, BA. With a 2-0 count, things don't go well for Roberto.
No, after that, we talked about it. The batting average against him after a 2-0 count, 440, on base of 600. Obviously, this will add to that number, but you'll take that rather than have David Ortiz swinging the bat 2-0. Take your chances with the righty-on-righty matchup. And the fact that Roberto Hernandez's ball is moving all over the place tonight. Good sinker, good changeup.
And here's Mike Napoli. Napoli swings and misses. He went after that first pitch fastball. Bases loaded here for Napoli. And you see what he has done this year. 5 out of 9. With a couple of home runs, 5 grand slams in his career. And a little popper, shallow center, out and short. They had Roberts shifted around. He could not get there. Iglesias scored. Ellsbury crossed the plate. Ortiz stopped at second. Napoli didn't hit it hard, but got it in the right spot.
This is like the top of the 14th all over again. These bloops and bleeders leading to runs for the Red Sox. And this ball got in on the label, but Napoli's strong, and he's able to just flip it out there. Loved the effort by Ryan Roberts, but nothing he could do.
So the Red Sox take a 3-2 lead. Daniel Nava. Nava tees off, hits one into center, and there's Jennings making the catch. Desmond Jennings racing to his left. Makes the catch on the run to retire the side. Well hit ball by Nava. Jennings right there for him. Great route. 3-2 Boston. Top of the third.
How many times have we seen him do that? And that ball off the bat of Nava, again, you look up, you see it, and you're like, oh, man, a gapper. That's probably 2 more runs. Elite speed, great angle. Another tremendous play.
Yeah, it's a tremendous play that looked almost routine for him.
It did.
And for me, that's the mark of a really good defender. You see Longoria do that at third. Jennings does that in center. Strike the count to Zobrist. Quick strikes on Ben. John Lester doing the pitching for Boston. Ground ball headed through the middle. Base hit into center. Leadoff single for Zobrist.
Sometimes for a pitcher, the hardest pitch to execute is the ball elevated, and that's where they wanted that. You can see David Ross calling for the ball up. Look at he wants that ball up of the letters. Doesn't quite get there, and Ben Zobrist able to, that flat swing of his, just poke it through the middle. You're taught your whole life as a pitcher, keep the ball down, working down in the zone. And then all of a sudden you try to go up on purpose. Not as easy as you would think.
Pitch wide to Evan Longoria. Change up to start the sequence of pitches to the Rays' third baseman. One and one. Having walked in the first, the Rays scored a run in the first. Got a run in the second inning. A leadoff single from Zobrist in the third. There's a foul ball, and that catches the mask of Ross.
I mean, like a punch in the jaw. So you want to catch.
Even with that goalie mask,
Yeah.
there's still a jarring impact. He missed some time earlier this year with a concussion. And that's a no pitch. Time had been granted.
I always like to see in these situations what the pitcher comes back with. Do you feel like you just tipped and you just told him this is what I was going to throw, so do you go to something different, or do you stick with it?
And he throws him a fastball for strike three.
He went to plan B, and that was probably the best pitch that John Lester has thrown all game. 93 right on the outside corner. Perfect pitch.
It's close enough.
Yes, it was, regardless of.
That's the first out. Here's Janelle Escobar. Escobar came into the game with a lifetime .310 average against Leicester. 9 out of 29. And again, time had been granted. And that's a no pitch.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's annoying for a pitcher. But boy, 2 times within a 3-pitch span, you're like, come on, really? Now, do I come back with the curveball again? Or do I go to 93 on the black?
Yeah, well, he came back and made a perfect pitch to Longoria. And he missed away with the fastball that time to start the sequence to Escobar. Did you find yourself in that situation? And if you did, what did you do?
Well, a lot of times you went to something else. Because you're like, I don't want to, have him sit on the same thing. Makes it too easy. They know what's coming.
Larry missed with the curveball in the second pitch, 2-0. Fastball is down. Well, he had just gotten to a point where he had thrown one more strike than he had non-strikes, and now he's at a deficit again. He's made 28 non-strike deliveries and 26 strikes. And ball 4. So he walks Escobar, pushing Zobrist into scoring position. That's 5 walks allowed by Leicester. In the game tonight and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Well, James Loney comes up here with 2 men on and 1 out. Loney had a patient at bat and walked in a run in the first inning. Loney now with 35 runs batted in here against Leicester. And the first pitch is a strike. Open with the fastball. Play the other way, 0-2. Angels lead the Orioles. Baltimore batting in the bottom of the 5th. It's a 1-0 game there. Mike Trout homered in the 4th inning for the Angels run. It's his 12th home run of the year. 2 strikes the count to James Loney. And he strikes out on the high fastball.
That one executed by John Lester. He goes up to James Loney, works him down the first 2, then elevates. Not quite able to get on top of it.
So 2 outs. And Ryan Roberts. Had the game continued last night, Roberts was going to pitch. He was in the bullpen warming up. This is the first pitch. He went out pitcher first his first time. Came into the game with 3 hits and 8 at-bats in his career against Leicester. Last time the Rays faced a left-handed starting pitcher, the 26th of May, CC Sabathia. And Roberts is behind in the count, 0-2. He did get a couple starts over that period of just over 2 weeks when the Rays were facing nothing but right-handed starters. And a ground ball base hit through the middle. The Rays will tie this game. Ben Zobrist crosses the plate. Roberts on an 0-2 pitch guides that one through the middle. It's 3-3.
Now, the one thing we've seen from John Lester tonight is even when he's able to put a couple of pitches together where he wants, it's not for very long. The command has not been there all game long. And here 0-2, this breaking ball they want down and in. It ends up down and out over the plate, and that gives Roberts a chance to just spank it through the middle.
A 3-3 ball game. Zobrist had opened with a base hit. He scores the tying run. It's Jose Molina. Molina with a little popper in the shallow center. That's going to fall. Escobar heads to the plate. He will score, and the Rays lead 4-3. Well, Jose Molina, you don't have to always hit it hard. He dropped it in front of Ellsbury.
Yeah, hey, Boston's done that a number of times to hurt the Rays, so turnabout is fair play, and Molina gets jammed on that. But, hey, you know what? You put a swing, sometimes they find holes and they drop in.
The Rays make it a 2-run inning. They've retaken the lead. Now Matt Joyce in there. Snap throw back to second, and he is safe. Roberts back in, and that's not unusual for Ross. He does a great job behind the plate.
Now that's the other thing about the big league level. Everything has to be precise. You want to take your secondary lead, you better get back in a hurry. Because if they see you lurking and hanging out there a little bit too long, they're going to try to throw behind you. You got to be on your game at all times when you're between the white lines.
One-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Back and forth, these two clubs have gone. 14 innings worth last night. 5 hours and 24 minutes. Hot shot, foul outside the line, back of first. Well, Joyce has hit some balls hard here in the last couple nights. So he hit the home run for the Rays in the bottom of the first last night.
You get the feeling that this is really the first time that Matt Joyce has embraced the kind of hitter that he is. He's a pull guy. He's going to get a couple of hits the other way because
2-2 because there's a random element in the universe.
That's right. There you go. See those? That's an accident.
It's happened 4 times.
It's an accident. But here's the deal. He's going to bet that you make a mistake out over the plate or close to him before you can make 3 perfect pitches like the one that was just made previously. And if he gets one of those, then he's going to pull it with some authority.
And there's a chop toward the left side. Drew with the throw to first. Not in time. Well, there you go. The bases are loaded.
Number 5. Number 5 to the left side. Not going to see it often, but it happens. 2 strikes, the ball's away. And he puts it in a nice spot. You know, a lot of times he's got the shift anyway. So this ball, a lot of times, is going to find the outfield. Just chop it that way. Got to move too far to your right. Throw back across your body, and great hustle beats it out.
Yeah, Drew had to range far to his right, though, across his body. And Joyce was in there safely. Bases loaded now for the top of the order. Desmond Jennings has a base hit and a home run tonight. The pitch is a fastball outside. So the Rays have him loaded. They left the bases that way in the first, settling for a run. Got a run on the Jennings homer in the second. 2 have scored here in the third. It's low, blocked by Ross. 2 balls, no strikes. Take a look at this block again.
Saves a run. And again, I'll tell you what, I mean, just the issues that John Lester's having, trying to find a consistent release point and get the ball in the areas that he wants them. It has been a struggle.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen him this erratic.
No. Nope.
Ground ball, shortstop. Drew falls down but gets the throw away for the force at second. The Rays settle for 2 and they take a 4-3 lead. Boston. Well, a little dust up last night, and that's nothing new. We go all the way back to 2000 when Gerald Williams made a little visit on Pedro Martinez. Shields and Coco Crisp will get together in 2008. And last year, more of the same. Luke Scott not real high on the proceedings right there. And the bench is empty. Morales in the middle of all that. And of course, last night, we go to the fourth. Stephen Drew takes the first pitch strike.
So which one was your favorite?
The one I really would have loved to have seen, just if everyone had left them alone, was Gerald Williams and Pedro Martinez. Just leave them alone, but the two of them settle. That would have been great.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. I personally like the haymaker from Shields.
Oh, yeah.
Crisp.
Yeah.
That had mean intentions. You don't see punches like that thrown typically in a baseball. A lot of pushing and shoving and posturing, but he threw a bomb.
Yeah, a lot of those things you could put the music, and you'd have a nice, got a tune that was easy to dance to, and you could all sync up and work.
I gotta have you over sometime.
Is that strikes? Well, in the aftermath of all that, let's check in with Todd Callens. Todd?
We've got a Twitter poll. AT&T brings it to you. Who is the Rays' biggest rival? You got 5 choices tonight. You've got the 4 AL East teams, the teams that beat the Rays the last 2 times in the postseason. Hashtag TB1 Toronto, hashtag TB2 Baltimore, hashtag TB3 Texas, hashtag TB4 these Red Sox, hashtag TB5 New York. Tweet your votes at Sun Sports Rays, guys.
All righty.
How has that team from South Florida not made it on that poll?
Ross fouls this one, strike one.
I don't recall any of those other teams having a series named after her.
No, but they are inside the AL East.
Okay. One of them's not. Rangers? Really?
Well, there was some meaningful postseason baseball going on there. Meaningful.
True, and it did not go the Rays' way. So there's a revenge factor there. I get it.
That's how you start. To have some feeling, alleged to.
Hey, that's how the Rays went about business when they started to turn this whole thing around back in 2008. And serving notice.
Oh, remember that little spring flare-up for the Yankees?
That was the game I blew out.
Yeah.
That was done. That was the game that I finished it. That was when Shelley Duncan went in hard on
Cervelli.
No, that was Iwamura.
Oh, you mean there?
Yeah. That was at old the Al Lang.
Yeah.
And that was that.
And then it was answered.
Yes. But that was the kind of that was spring training 2008, and that was kind of the Rays saying, look, we're not going to be pushed around anymore by the big boys. And serving notice in spring training went right into the season, and then had that year where all year long everybody was like, wow, how long is this going to last? How long is this going to last? Well, it lasted a long time. Deep into October, some of them lasted.
It's funny how those things develop as well, because there's no question that these two teams have had a few flare-ups, the Red Sox and the Rays. I've had it suggested to me that really, the Yankees and the Red Sox have their own thing and have for years. Ross is out on strikes, back-to-back strikeouts for Hernandez. Had it suggested that maybe the Rays and the Orioles would be the natural rival in the AL East, and you can make some sense of that, but it does seem that in recent years the Orioles had struggled and now have put things together, but both the Rays and the Orioles seem to be in the same camp when it comes to trying to overtake those major market foes.
Yeah, it's just Baltimore's been a little late to the party. The Rays have been searching for someone to fight with for the last 4 or 5 years. Baltimore comes out like gangbusters last year. But you're right. I mean, that would be the tag team looking to overtake Boston, New York.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, that division, for so long, it was the top two. And then all of a sudden, the Rays got involved. Now Baltimore's joined the party. Toronto tried to load up this offseason. Hasn't quite worked as they would have hoped so far, but everybody trying to make a move, and that leads to an extreme. The division's always been tough, but now, top to bottom.
Well, the division's so tough. You know, it's hard to go, yeah, we're going to be rivals against the Yankees. We're going to be rivals against the Red Sox. We're going to be rivals against the Orioles or the Blue Jays, for that matter. It's just tough. You're rivals against everybody in the division.
Who's next on the schedule? That's who your rival is.
2-2 the count. Iglesias pops it foul back of first. That will carry into the stands. So that question is going to be difficult to answer. It'll be interesting to see what kind of response we get from that. Struck out swinging. Ross struck out swinging. 2-2 to Iglesias. And he strikes out looking. Fastball. Hernandez strikes out the side. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. There's Drew swinging. Hernandez gets Ross swinging. Iglesias looking. 4-3. The 4th inning. Tune in tomorrow for the Wednesday night showdown as your Tampa Bay Rays take on the Boston Red Sox. Sponsored by your Tampa Bay area Mazda dealers. Chris Archer will be on the mound tomorrow night. It'll be fun to watch him again. Sean Rodriguez. Pitch is high. 1-0. Pop up left side. Drew takes care of this one. Sean Rodriguez pops out to begin the Rays 4th. Ben Zobrist. Ben opened the 3rd with a base hit. That led to a couple runs. Strike Ben 1 for 2 tonight. That gives him 10 out of his last 16. 1. His average up to 276. How about that? In the span of 16 at bats, his average has gone from 250 to 276. 2-1.
First week of June, second week of June. That's not easy to raise a batting average that significantly in such a
first month.
Yeah, right.
Takes it outside. It's 3-1.
We've just seen him spraying the ball all the way, all over the field with authority.
3-1. He pops it up on the right side, and that is Pedroia in shallow right field, making the catch. Base is empty, 2 outs. Time for Evan Longoria. Rays lead this one 4-3. The Orioles with a run in the 6th inning have tied the Angels 1-1 in Baltimore. Longoria shoots it into right field. Victorino still going back. He leaps, and that ball is gone. Home run for Evan Longoria. Evan hits one out to the opposite field, and the Rays lead 5-3.
Now that just shows you the power, but the explosive hands of Evan Longoria. This ball out over the plate, but boy, oh boy, he sees that ball for a long time, and then quick, explosive hands, and that famous carry that he's able to get because of his swing path. Bad hands by the fans. Had a shot.
Hit it right to him.
Right to him.
Had him played perfectly out there in the right field stands. Needs a glove. 1-1 to count to Escobar. That's a 3rd career home run for Evan off John Lester. One and 2 now on Escobar. 12 home runs on the year for Longoria. Chopper charged by the shortstop Drew. The Rays are out in the 4th, but they've scored a run in every inning. This one coming on Evan Longoria's opposite field blast. On to the 5th we go. 5-3 Tampa Bay. Move into the 5th inning, and it's time for the Just For Men Auto Stop Foolproof Stat. The Rays have struggled against the Red Sox. No doubt about that. They're down 1-6 against them. And look at the runners in scoring position. That includes 3 for 16 last night in what turned out to be a heartbreaking loss in a lot of ways. Hitting just 129 with men in scoring position in the season series. Jacoby Ellsbury takes the first pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Started him with a little slider. Ellsbury's been on twice and has scored 2 runs. Inside. Fastball missed.
Well, Ellsbury has also hit the ball the other way off of Roberto Hernandez. So you see first pitch breaking ball, then crowd him a little bit with the fastball, trying to get him off that pitch away.
Two and one. Shane Victorino next, and then Dustin Pedroia. It's a nice pitch, 2-1. That changeup.
It's been a good one for him tonight. You're right. 2-1. Ellsbury feels like count is in my favor, but that's been a good pitch for Roberto.
Ellsbury reaching out, fouling that one out of play to keep the at bat going. Chopper to the left side. Escobar. It's going to be a tough play, and he got him. Nice play by Escobar, and that's not an easy play. And again, the Rays defense turns in a very good play. They got him on the off-speed pitch.
That was an off-speed pitch that Ellsbury just chops to the left side. Escobar got to move to his right and in, throw across his body, the speedy Ellsbury, and he's able to get him by half a step. That was a spectacular play. You better believe it. You don't want that.
Well, Ellsbury's retired. Here's Victorino. And a first pitch strike to him.
Roberto Hernandez has that tempo, that rhythm going again that we saw a few starts ago. I believe it was here at Tropicana Field, Toronto and San Diego back to back, where he was really in that attack mode. Same thing with Miami.
And he comes back with that fastball there that comes back and catches the zone.
That's been a big pitch for him all year long. When he's locked in, those lefties, you know, he may want to get him out away with the sinker, but boy, he's able to front door that fastball, and it's so much more effective when he's ahead.
And a soft little line drive into left, and it's caught by Rodriguez. Rodriguez coming in from left to take care of that liner. Another great defensive play by the Rays. Hernandez threw him a changeup. Wasn't hit all that hard, and that's why it required such great effort by Sean Rodriguez.
How about the play made by the Rays second baseman who hasn't played in 2 weeks out in left field? My goodness, Sean Rodriguez coming in nicely. That is a tough play. That's a gutsy dive. But you know what? You're working hard. Your pitcher's making good pitches, throwing strikes.
Yeah, he really has made some good pitches here in the 5th. Struck out the side in the 4th, and then right back out here in the 5th, making a variety of good pitches. 1-0 on Pedroia. Ground ball, and right there is Roberts. 1, 2, 3 again. 7 in a row retired. Well, great defense by Yunel Escobar. Superb defense in left by Sean Rodriguez. 5-3 Rays. Brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most innovative lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. By the Tampa Bay Times. Amazing stories only in the 2013 Pulitzer Prize-winning Tampa Bay Times. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Home half of the fifth inning finds James Loney stepping in against the left-hander Lester, and he lines it right to Drew at shortstop. So Loney is out for the second time tonight. He had walked with the bases loaded his first time. Ryan Roberts now. Roberts with a 1-for-2 night and a run batted in. Strike one on the fastball. One and one. Five runs, 7 hits for the Rays. They've drawn 5 walks to go with their 7 hits. Two and one. The Orioles tied it in the 6th on a double by Nick Markakis. The Angels now batting in the 7th in a 1-1 ball game in Baltimore. 3 balls and a strike. Rays and the Red Sox used 39 players last night. The Rays used 20. They stayed away from their starting rotation and Jose Molina. Everybody else involved in last night's game for the Rays. And the Red Sox used 19 players. 3-2. Roberts takes a walk. 1 out pass. We'll check in with Todd.
Dwayne, there was a roster move after last night's game. You see the newest member of the Rays, Jake Odorizzi, just up from AAA Durham. And our thoughts and prayers go out to Alex Cobb and his family. His grandmother unexpectedly passing away last night, found out after the game. So Alex placed on the bereavement list. And Odorizzi, who was to start tonight for AAA Durham, found out last night as he was watching the Rays play the Red Sox, watching the game in his hotel room in Louisville. And the one thing I noticed about Odorizzi, guys, and also Chris Archer, the two newest Rays, Joe says be comfortable in your skin. Those guys like the high stirrups. They're going old school. Back to you.
That's a good look. I love that.
It's the best look.
Yeah.
It's the best look. Now what you got to do is you got to get your pants hemmed to where you have an inseam of about 18 or 19, so they look like football pants. That's the way you do it.
They are.
But I love that look, and I love those old school stripes.
Yep. Want to know the count? Molina fouls it into the screen. Count is 1-1.
I remember that happening when I got traded to Kansas City. You know, they send your information for your uniform over to the new team. I got a phone call, said, you know, a little bit of a typo here, but I got your pants, and it says inseam of 18. That's right. Oversized shorts. Just have them ready for tomorrow.
That really presents a great mental image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should probably just...
Other than baseball pants.
Right.
What's the footwear with that? Roberts at first, one out. The way it worked out for the Rays with Odorizzi coming up here. He was great insurance, great cover if they had needed someone to give them an extended outing. So far, so good for Roberto Hernandez. He's been very good the last couple innings, especially.
You got the feeling early on, you know, Roberto is struggling just a little bit. John Lester still hasn't found his command. He has really struggled. Here's another walk.
Back-to-back walks, Roberts and Molina.
Yeah, I mean, he has been fighting himself all night long. But it was whatever pitcher is going to find it first, going to give his team the best chance to win. In the last two innings, Roberto Hernandez has been electric.
He's walked 7 tonight. He had a game when he walked 6 in his 5th start of the year. 7 tonight, which represents a career high. Matt Joyce. Pitch in to Joyce. Change up. 1 ball, no strikes. Nieves is going to head to the mound in the middle of this count. There is action in the bullpen. Jose De La Torre has started to throw. Just a reminder, this Father's Day, get ready to fire up the grill in style with a Rays apron modeled after the jerseys the players wear. This apron available only by purchasing the Tampa Bay Times ticket tandem for any game during the series against the Kansas City Royals, June 14th through the 16th. Visit raysbaseball.com/tandems for more info. Joyce 1 for 2. And now Roberts starts to take off, and he's caught in a rundown between second and third, and is tagged out at third.
When you can see the frustration of Ryan Roberts, because back-to-back walks, a guy really struggling to throw strikes, and you hand him an out on the base paths.
Yeah, that really helps Roberts, helps Lester's cause, and Roberts not happy with himself there.
No, not at all. Look at, he got off a little bit too far, and John Lester with the inside move. Now he's compromised and out.
Want to know the count to Joyce? 2-0. Well, Roberts just took off a little too soon. You know, there was a time when Lester would pick you off as easily as he would strike you out. It's been a few years ago, but he had some seasons running back-to-back when he had, I think, 2 years in a row, 6 pickoffs in each season. He had 4 in another year adjacent to those seasons. A 7-3 ball game.
I'll tell you what, that ball. Oh, Matt Joyce just waiting for one pitch, one spot, gets it, and Crush City. Wow. Beautiful swing, beautiful trajectory. No doubt about it.
For Matt, his 12th home run of the year, his second off a lefty. He doesn't get a chance to see lefties much, but boy, he saw that pitch, and did he nail that one. Time now for the Metro PCS call to the bullpen for Boston. Is brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Visit your Honda dealer for great lease and finance deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. By This Is the End in theaters tomorrow. And by Checkers. Feast on. Rays have taken a 7-3 lead. They've had 3 home runs tonight. They had 4 last night. Jose De La Torre is the new pitcher. He was just added to their roster. Desmond Jennings takes a pitch inside. 1-0.
See his numbers impressive at Pawtucket, AAA affiliate of the Red Sox.
It's 1-1.
The only thing that would concern you are the walks, perhaps, of more than a strikeout an inning and a batting average against a 155.
Forward 2/3 for John Lester. 7 runs, 8 hits. He walked 7.
Now that was the big deal. The walks bad enough, but indicative of an obvious lack of command. So even some of the pitches in the strike zone found the middle of the plate. Rays, to their credit, took full advantage. A run for every walk.
Well, there's ball 3, a full count on Jennings now.
Boy, frustrating night. Just could not put together more than 2 or 3 pitches at a time before it would go south.
There's a high shot deep to left off the bat of Jennings. All the way back, and that one's out of here. Desmond Jennings hitting his second home run of the game. He greets Delatorre and takes him deep. 8-3 Rays.
Now the Rays' power display continues. That ball working its way up and in to Desmond Jennings. Get the head out. Towering blast.
So the Rays continue to score in every inning. They now have built a 5-run lead. Roberts takes the pitch high. Well, back-to-back home runs, this time off 2 separate pitchers. Joyce and Jennings, second time this year the Rays have had back-to-back home runs. Desmond Jennings had been Zobrist involved in the back-to-back home run exhibition back on the first day of May. So it's 8-3. And ball 4 to Rodriguez. There's Ben Zobrist, a runner at first. Have scored 3 runs, and Singleton scored in the 3rd, and there's a strike. So it's a 4 home run night for the Rays again tonight. Torino coming in to make the catch. The Rays are finally out in the 5th, but they hit 2 home runs, scored 3 runs total. Matt Joyce knocks Lester out of the game with a long one to right. Jennings greets Delatorre into the game with a long one to left. 8-3 Tampa Bay.
With a home run in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Some good news today on David Price, guys. He pitched a bullpen session yesterday, and then today he felt so good that the Rays are going to skip his last bullpen session and go right to a simulated game. So there you see him near Ron Porterfield, head athletic trainer. So Price is now going to pitch a simulated game on Thursday. If all goes well then, he could be right out on his minor league assignment. Now, Joe Maddon said before the game they think he can get 3, maybe 4 starts in before the All-Star break. So that would either be Detroit at the end of June if it's 4 starts, or Houston in the beginning of July if it's 3 starts. But either way, he felt so good, they're advancing his progress. Back to you.
Well, that's good news all the way around right there. And for David Price, it would be a restart to his season, which might be absolutely the best thing for him.
Yeah. Yep. I definitely think, a physical issue ends up working itself out, and I think it's a big plus for David mentally, not getting off to the start that he wanted after winning the Cy Young.
Ortiz hits one just out of the reach of the diving Ryan Roberts, who was stationed in shallow right with the shift on. Ortiz is aboard to start the 6th, picking up the 5th hit surrendered by Hernandez. Mike Napoli. Napoli looped one into center field in the 3rd, driving in 2. Takes the pitch tight. 1 ball, no strikes. Hernandez has 6 strikeouts tonight. Given up an intentional walk. 3 runs, 6 hits. The pitch is strike 1. Meanwhile, the Rays have hit 4 home runs again. This is the first time in franchise history that the Rays have put back-to-back 4 home run games together. 4 last night and 4 tonight. 2 of those by Desmond Jennings. Longoria has 1. Joyce has 1. Cut the foul ball off the fastball. 1-2 to Mike Napoli. Out of there. A big cut at the off-speed pitch, and that's strikeout number 7. So 1 on, 1 out. Celebrate your marriage and your love of the Rays by renewing your vows at Tropicana Field Saturday, June 15th. Purchase special wristbands for the on-field post-game ceremony, and you and your spouse will receive a Rays champagne flute. For more information, visit RaysBaseball.com/renew your vows. Daniel Nava takes the first pitch, and that's a strike. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a strike. 1-2. Nava retired in the 3rd on a great catch by Jennings. Nava hit the ball very hard. It appeared to be headed to the deep part of right center field. And Jennings raced over there and made the catch to end the inning. Fastball, he fouls that one back. Nava 1 out of 2 tonight, came in hitting .322 off lefties this year. Switch hitting outfielder. Sends it into center. Jennings is right there. 2 gone.
Hernandez just continues to make quality pitches. He has found his groove.
Well, that catch by Jennings on the ball that Nava hit that we just referenced in the 3rd inning started a nice little run for Hernandez, where he's retired 9 out of the next 10 hitters.
Well, and think about that. I mean, Boston had taken the lead at that point. I believe it was 3-2. And if that ball gets by him, that was 2 more runs. That's going to clear the bases. Now it's 5-2. Completely different game.
Yep.
He makes that catch, takes a great, just a straight line with good speed, great speed, makes the catch, and then all of a sudden Roberto Hernandez comes out, punches out the side in the 4th, and really hasn't looked back save for the base hit by David Ortiz.
Drews grounded into a double play and has struck out in this game. Down and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Molina's going to pay Hernandez a visit.
One thing, Roberto Hernandez, you love it when he's got a quick tempo, a good rhythm, and he's in attack mode. But the one thing that he does run the risk of is getting a little bit jumpy, a little too much. And I think that's what Jose Molina is doing right there. Jump out 2-0, just, you know what, calm down, let's get back to making quality pitches and go sit down for another half an inning.
Now there's ball 3 outside. Pitch count at 98. Ortiz singled to lead off the inning. Got one through the shift. Hernandez pours a strike in there.
With this lead and with the way that his ball's moving tonight, yeah, Jose Molina could set up right down the middle. Go ahead and give me the sinker right in the middle of my chest, because it's not going to end up there. It's just not going to end up there. Not tonight. That ball is moving all over the place.
3-1. Now full count.
All over the zone. Only 2 strikes to show for it.
3-2, and he loses him. Ball 4 wide. That was pitch number 100. The second walk of the game given up by Hernandez.
Well, and just tried to overthrow that one a little bit too much. That ball sailed on him. Well, you erase it from the memory bank. You still, hey, listen, make quality pitches here. Get 1 more out.
Well, David Ross, who is 0 for 2, twice has struck out, is the hitter. He takes a changeup for a strike.
And he really hasn't had David Ross is talking right now with Chris Guccione, saying, look, if that's a strike, we have to have that too on our side. That's fine. You want to call it, but we make sure that we get it. Not had very good swings off of Roberto Hernandez tonight. Let's hope that continues one more at bat.
Cut and a miss. Doing another change, and he was opening up on that.
Yeah, that's been the thing. He has really been leaking badly down the left field line. Watch that front hip. Gone before the swing starts. Pulling off of everything.
The 0-2. He pops it up. Right side for Loney. He's got it. Just foul. 2 left. We got to the home half of the 6th. 8-3 Rays. Coming up, but here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. It'll be another Web Wednesday. Chris Archer looks for a repeat performance of his last time out when he threw the ball extremely well. And we'll dig into the Red Sox big bats, all of that on Rays Live, the pregame show. Jose De La Torre on the hill. Rays got a run on the home run by Desmond Jennings off him. And Evan Longoria will open the 6th. Evan has walked and homered in between, called out on strikes. And there's a strike on the corner, says Chris Guccione. 12 home runs for Longoria on the year, 12 for Joyce on the year. Big cut. There's a miss, 2 strikes. A ball, 2 strikes. Torre took over in the 5th inning. Lester worked 4 2/3. 2-2 the count. Cut and a miss. Evan missed the fastball.
Well, he gets Evan Longoria looking out over the plate after a couple of pitches off the plate away, and then comes back in with a fastball with late sink and able to squeeze it under the bat of Evan Longoria. A late movement there.
Escobar lifts a fly ball toward the right field line. Victorino crossing the line into foul territory. 2 outs.
You know, that was the other interesting thing about tonight's Rays lineup is Yunel Escobar sliding up there, hitting right behind Longoria. And doing some good work down at the bottom of the order for the Rays.
Well, the Rays facing a left-handed starter for the first time in just over 2 weeks. And Joe Maddon's going to rearrange a lineup almost every day anyway. Really had an opportunity to do that. Move some people up and down and around to strike Deloney. So Escobar went up in the number 5 spot. Joyce went from leading off to 9th. He's hit a home run at either spot. We're going to have to figure out a way to get Joyce into the 8th spot, so he will have hit out of every spot in the order. He's hit in 8 different places in the lineup.
June 11th. Pretty amazing. All over.
Headed toward the middle, and Drew is right there for it, shaded that way. And Loney is out number 3. We go to the 7th inning. 8-3 Rays. At Tropicana Field tonight. Here's tonight's pitching performance presented by Volkswagen. Roberto Hernandez, 104 pitches as he opens the 7th. Put together a nice outing here.
Boy, he really has. After that, getting out of that 3rd inning where he surrendered 2 runs, he really has turned it up, making quality pitches, working with a good tempo. The fastball's been good for the most part. The changeup's been very good, and I'll tell you what, he's pitching with a lot of confidence right now. It's an outstanding job by Roberto Hernandez, and he'll head back out for the 7th.
Jose Iglesias leads it off. He is 1 for 2. The pitch is in there for a strike. This is the highest pitch count Roberto Hernandez has had, 105, since early in the season. He had as many as 113 in a game against Texas. He pitched 2 outs into the 7th inning in that game. In his 2nd start, he made 112 in the outing after that on the road against Baltimore. And a little close right there to Iglesias.
You know, what I think happens when you got a guy like Roberto Hernandez, who's a known innings eater, you know, he's been around the block a few times as far as the starting pitcher goes. you pass the eye test. Some of your younger pitchers, you're going to protect them. In 100, 105, 110, they're out of there. But you know what? You keep watching him, and you say, as long as his stuff continues to be consistent and good and crisp.
Shallow center. Roberts can't get there. It falls in front of Zobrist. Jennings picks it up. The ball not hit all that well, but just in among 3 Rays defenders, and Iglesias has his second hit of the night.
Oh, hits like that are disgusting. I mean, just a hang up for everybody. 3 guys converge. Everybody's kind of close to it, but not close enough. Ugh.
Well, you come through that aversion naturally.
No, I mean, really.
You should.
Especially when you got a guy out there who's rolling along, pitching well, and you give up one of those. It's frustrating, and that's why Jim Hickey given some time down to the bullpen, and also just understands that a pitcher gets really frustrated over stuff like that.
So a runner on with nobody out. Let's check in with Kelly Nash. Kelly?
All right, kids, this one's for you. You bring your dad to the game on Sunday, which happens to be Father's Day, against the Royals, and you get to leave with these Helixon headphones brought to you by Metro PCS. The first 10,000 kids in, 14 and under, take these home, guys. And I'm not sure really who's the better model. There was a picture floating around of Alex Cobb modeling these headphones, doing a little head tilt. It was really cute, guys.
There you go.
It's the best I can do.
No, you got to show the 58.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now tilt.
Now tilt. Thought into these.
Meanwhile, Jacoby Ellsbury stepping in here. Takes the pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Tapper down to first. Loney goes to second out. Back to first. Great scoop, and they get the 3-6-3 double play. That's how it's done.
Yeah, and how about James Loney? Again, we talk about his sense of timing. He gets that Ellsbury is the runner coming out of the box. So watch how not only does he get rid of it quickly, but he puts something on it. Gets it there in a hurry, back to the bag, and then makes the scoop. You see, sometimes when he throws that ball down to second base, he'll feather that ball down there a little bit. Threw that with a little oomph on it, and then makes a nice scoop to finish it off. Beautiful.
Base is empty now. Shane Victorino takes a pitch inside. Braves have turned a couple double plays. It's 1-1. Joel Peralta at the ready in the Rays bullpen. He's always ready.
Yeah, what's new?
And a pop up. Escobar retreating from short, grabs it. Red Sox out in the 7th inning stretch time. 8-3 Rays. moving into the home half of the 7th inning of the Trop. Get ready, fans, for Fox Sports 1, America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you want, and shows and specials that only Fox could bring you. Fox Sports 1 coming August 17th. Ryan Roberts about to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Della Torre, 27-year-old right-hander in relief of John Lester. Roberts singled in a run in the 3rd, officially 1 for 2. Two balls, no strikes. Ground ball, grabbed by Iglesias, picks it up and fires to first. It's a nice play on a hard hit ball moving to his left. Recovered after that ball popped away from him.
That was a very impressive play by Iglesias. You see that right there. Then finding it quick with the throw right on the money.
Jose Molina takes a strike on the edge. Molina singled in a run in the 3rd. He walked and scored on the Matt Joyce home run in the 5th. Two strikes. Della Torre, this right-hander out of Puerto Rico, originally in the New York Mets organization. Still 2 strikes on Molina with that foul ball. Spent some time in the Cleveland Indians minor league organization and then over to Boston. Getting his first big league time this year. Still a 2-strike count to Molina. Rays getting 7 innings from their starter, Roberto Hernandez. John Lester pitched 4 2/3 for Boston. And now Molina strikes out. 2 up and 2 down. Tune in tomorrow for the Wednesday night showdown as your Tampa Bay Rays take on the Boston Red Sox, sponsored by your Tampa Bay area Mazda dealers. It's another Web Wednesday tomorrow evening here on Sun Sports. And Chris Archer will make the start against Alfredo Aceves.
And I think you'd agree with me on this, Dwayne. But our Web Wednesday needs to pick it up. I mean, come on, people. The questions, there either haven't been that many or
they have to
mediocre
tweet.
At best.
They have to tweet to Sun Sports Rays.
Or maybe they're a lot like us. They're anti-tweet Twitter. Because all I know is our Web Wednesdays, we used to get good stuff all the time.
Yeah, from all over the world.
Flowing, quick.
From all over the world.
All over the world. Now we get, when are we going to see Will Myers? Yeah, get it. We get it. We get it every week.
We get questions from France and Germany.
We were on quite the offensive through Western Europe.
Yeah.
Last year.
I mean, we were about to own the United Kingdom.
Now we can't get out of Brooksville. I mean, let's go. Goodness.
We actually had a Rays fan visit us from the Netherlands. Came to Toronto for the Rays series. Had a nice little chat. Matt Joyce walks. He's on for the 3rd time. There you are. Tweet us your questions at SunSportsRays. Hashtag AskRays.
Yeah, well, whatever you got to do, write it down, get it done. Because I'm telling you something right now. If the quality doesn't get better, I'm tapping out on Web Wednesday. I'm done with Web Wednesday.
You're just not going to do it?
I'm done with Web Wednesday. I'm not going to participate if it's always going to be mediocre, middle of the road garbage.
Well, I guess we have to pick it up then, don't we?
Well, we've got the word out a day ahead of time.
That'll be tomorrow.
And I don't doubt that people will come through at the end of the day.
Well, after all of that, I certainly would. A challenge.
It's the coffee.
1-1.
Nothing to see here.
Let's move along. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Just feeling ornery tonight. That's all.
Gotcha. It's all right. Long night last night. Extra innings.
Yes.
One and one the count here to Desmond Jennings. He's hit 2 home runs tonight. It's the 3rd time in Desmond's career that he's had a 2 home run game. August of 2011 against the Blue Jays in Toronto, and June last year against the Tigers here, and then 2 tonight against Boston. It's a 2-2 count. Desmond 3 for 4 on the night. Goes the runner. The pitch is a ball, and the throw sails all the way into center field. Joyce gets up, heads to 3rd, and the throw not in time. Well, the ball just slipped away from Ross.
I want to see the grip on that, because David Ross came up firing to make a play, and that ball just, I mean, took off. There you go. Whoops.
So Joyce steals a base and moves to 3rd on the error. His first error of the year charged to David Ross. The count is full on Jennings. Tune, a roller to short, grabbed by Drew, throw to 1st in time. Rays leave a man. We have gone through 7, and the Rays lead 8-3. 8-3, the Rays lead the Red Sox, and Roberto Hernandez goes back to the mound to begin the 8th inning. He's made 113 pitches, which matches his season's high, dating back to his second start of the year on the road against the Texas Rangers. First pitch is a strike to Pedroia.
I'll tell you what, you see no drop off in the quality.
Pretty good distribution there. One and one to Pedroia.
Yeah, this is the other thing that Roberto Hernandez is capable of doing. You know, these nights that he goes out there can give that bullpen a rest. This is a bullpen that's been worked pretty good so far this year. You need these outings, and he can give them to you.
Ball and 2 strikes. Pedroia drove in the first run of the game with that sacrifice fly. Zobrist made a good play on that ball to make the catch. Since then, Pedroia has struck out and grounded out. Just a little piece of it in behind Molina. A foul ball, and the count remains 1-2. Angels batting in the 9th inning in Baltimore, trailing 3-1. And Pedroia is hit by that pitch. So Pedroia on a 1-2 pitch hit.
Well, we talked about his ball moving all night. Look at that thing just take off, and it gets Pedroia right on the back of that left elbow where he's got the pad, right on the pad.
Well, now Jim Hickey's going to make another visit to the mound. You can see Roberto's reaction. It was the last thing he wanted to do, given the night he's had. So while the Rays talk it over, let's check in again quickly with Todd.
Dwayne, you'll be happy to know that since the challenge, the gauntlet was laid down by BA, we've had 30 different questions to add Sun Sports Rays with the hashtag Ask Rays. Although you will be disappointed to find out the first question was, when are we going to see Will Myers? And the second question was, why is BA mad at me?
It's false. It's false anger.
Yeah, and we've also had emails and text from other quarters too.
Yes.
Yep. And one,
I received a text from clubhouse manager Chris Westmoreland that told me if I didn't calm down, he was going to make an appearance up here.
Yeah.
So we've got concerned people all around. And I just texted him back that I promised to tone it down.
So, because we don't want that.
No.
I mean, he's welcome here anytime.
Listen,
but on a friendly basis.
Right, because if not, the tone of his text was, I'll come up there and turn that booth into a parking lot. It went something like that.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Ortiz. That's in for a strike. Yeah, there you go. That says it all.
That was a good story. No, you're the best in that. Just completely disregarding.
Because you're in there twice. You're in that shot twice. And the small monitor, you're in there too.
I was ticked.
Well, the pitch is down, and so it's 3-1. You're actually in. You're wall to wall. You're in there 3 times on either side, and the monitors, and then the front and center shot.
But you know how long ago that was, because we were allowed to wear golf shirts. That was years ago.
Yeah, I can hardly remember.
Well.
Yeah, that's so long. The Astros are in the National League. There's a hot shot off the glove of Roberts, rolling into right field, and the first 2 men are aboard here on the hit batter, and now Ortiz reaches on his hot shot. It's going to be an error charged to Roberts, and that's going to mark the end of the evening for Roberto Hernandez. with 2 men on and nobody out in the 8th. Joe Madden comes out. Time for the Metro PCS call to the bullpen. For the Rays, you see Davey Martinez and Jim Hickey walking over to offer their congratulations. Roberto Hernandez, a career-high 122-pitch performance tonight.
Absolutely love what he did. A little bit of a struggle early for him. A couple of runs given up in the 3rd inning, and then that was it. He really went on the offensive. Was able to iron out his game. It was quality. Good fastball to both sides. Good run, good sink, good changeup, occasional slider. Boy, oh boy, what a night.
And Joel Peralta's on to face Mike Napoli. A hit batter in the air, putting 2 men on with nobody out in the 8th. And a big cut, a miss. And Napoli never gets cheated up there. 1 strike to count. Peralta, it seems, if he's not trying to wade through the middle of the order, he's going to face part of it. And he gets Napoli after Ortiz reached on the error. And there's strike 2.
Yeah, we hit on it in the pregame show, but Joel Peralta, since he came over to the Rays in 2011, leads the American League in appearances. And you're right, so often he's finding the most dangerous part of the lineup. And what makes him so effective is he begs for the ball in those situations. He's got more guts than any pitcher you're going to find, and he's got a great mix of pitches. I mean, he really will throw any pitch at any count. It's not easy for these hitters.
Foul ball back. Yeah, it's hard to predict what you're going to get next.
No, I mean, if you look at his percentage breakout, it's across the board. A great mix. There you go. And now 181 appearances, but it's the no fear, not afraid of any situation. And that really is what separates him. It's not like he's coming in blowing 96, 98 with a power slider, and it makes it look easy. He comes in with 90, 91, a split, breaking ball. He's just not afraid of anybody or anything.
Chase the fastball. Here it is.
Climb the ladder on purpose. Go upstairs. You see Jose Molina. They want that ball up there by the letters. And they get it. At least Peralta wanted it up in the letters.
Daniel Nava, switch hitting outfielder. Baltimore has beaten the Los Angeles Angels. It's a 3-2 final. Upstairs. Ball, no strikes. Nothing pitch. That's a strike. Ball that breaks in. Peralta inheriting a couple of runners here in the 8th. Upstairs. 2-1. Rays rivals, the Marlins, defeated the Brewers 5-4. Stanton is back. Belted a home run. Dietrich hit home run number 6. Chad Qualls got the win.
You can't say things like that when I got a mouthful of hot coffee.
And the pitch is a strike at the knees. 2-2.
Good low riding fastball here from Peralta right to the corner.
Went up out of the zone to get Napoli to chase. He was up 0-2 in the count. Peralta, he's 2-2 with Napa. To the hill. Peralta goes to first with the throw. Pedroia moves to third. Ortiz up to second. Nava's out of there, pitcher first. 2 on, 2 out. Coming up on Rays Live, the postgame, presented by Checkers. A great performance by Roberto Hernandez. We'll be discussing his effort tonight. Joe Madden's press conference and Kelly Nash have interviews from the clubhouse on Rays Live, the postgame. Follows immediately after our coverage of this game between the Rays and the Red Sox. Stephen Drew, he is 0 for 2, walked his last time. Center, Zobrist and Jennings makes the catch. 2 men left on base. We go to the home half of the 8th. 8-3 Rays.
Eighth inning, time to check in once again on our AT&T Twitter poll question. Tonight we ask you, who is the Rays' biggest rival? We've got 4 AL East teams to choose from, and we also have the Texas Rangers, who knocked the Rays out of the playoffs the last 2 times. Hashtag TB1 Toronto, hashtag TB2 Baltimore, hashtag TB3 Texas, hashtag TB4 Boston, hashtag TB5 New York. Tweet the votes to @SunSportsRays. We'll have the results in the Rays Live post-game show presented by Checkers, guys.
All right, thank you very much. Sean Rodriguez to open the bottom of the 8th. Ben Zobrist and Evan Longoria. Jose De La Torre in relief. Rodriguez bounces one foul. Sean has been on twice tonight. A couple of bases on balls. Little tapper, third base side, could be tough. Iglesias tries to barehand it. That's going to go as a base hit. Sean Rodriguez aboard, picking up his first hit on for the 3rd time.
Found the right spot. Little tapper up the third base line. Sean's going to be busting it out of the box. Smelling base hit. Iglesias with a do-or-die play. Can't quite come up with that ball.
Now Ben Zobrist. Single to open the 3rd and scored a run. He scored in each of the first 5 innings. A run in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, another run in the 4th, and then 3 in the 5th. They've hit 4 home runs tonight. 3 coming off Lester. De La Torre greeted by Jennings with a home run. Lester's last batter, Joyce, hit a home run. One and two. Action on that 89-mile-per-hour fastball.
We've seen some late life. That one that got under the bat of Evan Longoria, that one was at 91 with some good late sink.
Inside, snap throw to first, and back in head first. There is Sean Rodriguez. Seven of the runs off Lester and another run of De La Torre. Hernandez pitched 7+ for the Rays. 3 runs, 7 hits, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. One of those was an intentional walk, and he hit a man. Rodriguez draws the throw. Rays about it, Boston, 10-7. It's too low, and now they're going to get Rodriguez caught. Ross runs right to him, and now Rodriguez chased to second and back to first, caught in the rundown, and Ross went right to the runner once he caught him in no man's land.
Yeah, and Sean Rodriguez kept trying to deke him, and Ross not biting. That's the second base runner, second out the Rays have given away on the bases.
So Rodriguez, the first out here in the 8th, caught off first. And Zobrist walks. 3 walks allowed by De La Torre. Here's Evan Longoria. Devon's home run, an opposite field shot off Lester in the 4th. It walked in the 1st. Lester walked 7. So the Rays have drawn 10 bases on balls in this game. Here's that home run. A great carry into the opposite field.
Yeah, you got to be a strong man to hit the ball out just straight away right field. But Evan Longoria, he's got those quick hands, and he gets a good look at that baseball away, lets that thing come to him, and then explodes those hands down and through the zone. That's what he's capable of doing.
Fouls this one. Feet of the catcher, Ross. Count goes to 0-2. Bullpens have had a couple of lefties doing some throwing. Felix Dubront down the left side and Jake McGee up the right side. And strike 3, ball. Just a little late break to that one, and Longoria called out on strikes. Don't forget, your kid's favorite rock band is coming to Tropicana Field. The Imagination Movers are set to perform Sunday, June 16th, after the Rays host the Royals during Family Fun Day, presented by the Tampa Bay Times. Everyone's invited on the field to dance along with the Disney Junior Stars. Visit RaysBaseball.com/concerts. Zobrist back in at first. Yunel Escobar is the hitter. Escobar 0 for 2, 2 walks. Scored a run in the 3rd. And a chopper to short. Drew stays down for the pickup and the throw to Napoli in time. So runs a hit with 1 left. We go to the 9th. It's 8-3 Rays. The top of the 9th inning here tonight. And here is tomorrow's pitching matchup, brought to you by Chevron. The Rays will have Chris Archer headed to the mound tomorrow evening. Alfredo Aceves will make the start for Boston. Our coverage begins at 6:30 on Sun Sports for the third game of this series. Jake McGee on the mound. One inning for Peralta. Picked up a strikeout. So Hernandez worked 7+. Peralta for an inning. And here's Jake McGee.
He is on for
Sam Fold also in the ball game now and left.
Sam.
So Jake McGee set to go to work. Facing the catcher, David Ross. The pitch is a strike.
You know, Dwayne, you made that comment, I don't know if it was last night, a couple of nights ago, about a reliever and how difficult it is to have a couple of bad outings with the ERA. And you saw Jake's at 6.17, but not indicative of all about how he's been throwing the ball the last month or so. He has been explosive.
And how about the night that Ross has had? And that pitch right there, he comes in. He's had a little tough night at the plate.
Yeah.
Threw the ball into center field. This guy's a very good catcher. Highly sought after by a number of clubs. But that swing right there with what McGee gave him.
Yeah. Well, you watch him all night, and you saw him off Roberto Hernandez right from Jump Street. He was leaking down the third base line like crazy. That front side is opening up so quick that he is handing you the outside half of the plate. Forget, the outside corner, the outer third. He's given away the whole outside part of the plate, so why would you go anywhere else? He's going to have to make a huge adjustment to get that part of the plate covered because everything is leaking down that third base line right when the ball's delivered.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that's something too as a hitter. I'm sure you go back and look at the video, and that's something you'll pick up right away. Just like a pitcher's going to pick up something mechanical that's that obvious and that blatant.
Two balls, 2 strikes. You made the other point between innings here about how important it was for Joel Peralta to strand those 2 runners when Hernandez left. That's big.
It is big because you know what? Roberto Hernandez threw the ball great, but there's something different about 7 innings, 7+ innings, and 3 runs given up than 5. And for Peralta to come in first and second, nobody out, and leave him out there, great job on both ends. Great job by Peralta and great for Roberto Hernandez. Really stamps the end of his night.
A night when Hernandez throws a career-high 122 pitches and gave the Rays 7+ innings. And after a night like last night of 14 innings in 5 hours and 24 minutes, you really need a starter who could do that. And Roberto Hernandez turned in a great performance for the Rays.
We saw him do that before. I can't remember, it was the Toronto game maybe, where the Rays are coming off like back-to-back very tough losses where they had given up huge leads. And he went out there that night, and you could see that he just kind of like, you know what, get on my shoulders. Tonight's on me. Tonight I'm going to take it over. And after scuffling a little bit early tonight, boy, oh boy, after the 3rd inning, he locked it down and just really took it to this Boston offense.
2 strikes the count to Iglesias. Jose Iglesias. A couple of hits on the evening. Iglesias strikes out. 2 gone here in the ninth. 7 strikeouts for Hernandez, 1 for Peralta, and now the first one for McGee.
That's about being in good spots, and that is a great spot. That's off the plate, just a hair. Very good-looking pitch to the hitter at 97.
And here is Jacoby Ellsbury. Pitch is down. Rays have out hit Boston 10-7. They lead 8-3. A 4-home run night for the Rays, coming off last night hitting 4. It's the first time they've had back-to-back 4-home run games in a single series. They've hit 8 home runs in consecutive games against the same team for the first time. 2-1. They have had some games, a couple of games where they've hit 8 home runs combined in back-to-back games, but involving 2 different teams. Murray takes the fastball. Two outs, bases empty. And a base hit into center field. Ellsbury is aboard with his second hit. And Shane Victorino will be the next hitter. Victorino 1 for 3 with a base hit and a sacrifice. And strike one. Rays trying to notch their second win in the season series over Boston. They came in 1-6 and 1-3 here at the Trop. Strikes. And now the Rays looking for the final out. Boston scored first in this game, but the Rays answered that with a run in the first. Scored a run in the second. Pitch is foul out of play. Boston reclaimed the lead with 2 in the third to make it 3-2, but the Rays grabbed it right back in the bottom of the third. Added on a run in the fourth, but put 3 up there in the fifth. Two-strike count. Escobar makes the call, and the catch, and the Rays are winners. Rays come back and knock off Boston in game 2 of this series. It's an 8-3 final. Hernandez will get the win for the Rays. And so the Rays win their 35th game of the year. They're 2-6 in the series against the Boston Red Sox this year, and on the heels of last night's tough extra inning loss, the Rays come back and post a win tonight. Desmond Jennings, a 3-hit night, 2 home runs for Desmond Jennings in this game, and a great play in the outfield as the Rays win it 8-3. And with those 4 home runs hit in the game tonight, a total of $40,000 was raised for prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can go online to homerunchallenge.org. Well, the Rays get the victory as Hernandez gave them 7, Peralta an inning, and McGee the final inning. Right now, let's go to the field. Todd Callis. Todd?
Dwayne, thanks. Matt, last night, obviously, a frustrating game, a long game, one that you lost. You guys seem to have been able to bounce back from some tough games all year long. Was tonight a fairly significant one, you think?
Absolutely. To come against a tough team, a big series for us, I think we had to. And, the guys have been great all season long, not letting something carry over to the next game. And we did it again tonight, and I think that's what makes us a good team.
Joe says he likes to match you up against certain lefties, and it seemed like you hit the ball hard against Lester your first 2 times up before the home run. Is he a lefty that you see pretty well?
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends. I think sometimes when you feel comfortable, you feel a little bit relaxed. It doesn't really matter who's on the mound. Today, like I said, I felt comfortable.
Let's take a look at the home run.
That's a good one to get. That's a good feeling. And after everything that happened yesterday and the long game, and to come back from a loss like that is a great feeling.
Yeah, I know there were some frustrations last night. You guys were able to bounce back and win tonight. How about being a DH? I was looking up your numbers. I think this is your 24th career start as a DH. Have you learned as you've done this more often, how the process works? Are you getting more comfortable on the rare occasions when you are the DH?
I don't want to get too comfortable. And but yeah, I think there's definitely a sense of just getting relaxed, just being comfortable and knowing everything's going to be okay. Try to do the small things right. Swinging the right pitches, not to get too excited, and today was good. It was good for me, and I enjoyed it.
Final question. It looked like early on it might be one of those games where it was going to be another 10-8 game. Both pitchers struggled early. What about the job Roberto did after those early runs to really settle in?
Yeah, he really settled in. He said it perfectly. He's got great stuff, and I think when he gets ahead in the count, he's one of the toughest pitchers to face. So I think that's going to be his key the rest of the year, and he's getting a lot more comfortable, a lot better feel for his stuff, and it's good for us.
Good job today. Good luck trying to win the series tomorrow, Matt. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. Joyce belting the home run out of the number 9 spot tonight. First time he's done that in his career. 8-3, Rays winners. Back in a moment.